glowing
All right,
tires.
let me fire this up, and then you're going to have to change these because, yeah, here we go.
All right. Let me get
And it's
it.
up top there. There you
All
go.
right. Thank
All
you.
right. So Goodyear tires, bright idea. Back in the late 50s and 60s, Goodyear engineers were feeling enlightened. Their tires actually were. The glow, unfortunately, didn't last. More than 5 decades ago, in what the Ohio tire manufacturer called one of the most dramatic tire developments in history of the industry, Goodyear unveiled a custom car accessory unlike no other, illuminated tires.
Can you
So,
imagine that today? They'd sell out of
yeah,
those.
you know what? That's Martha. We always talk about Martha. That's
Martha?
Martha
Yeah.
right there. So
Okay.
Goodyear's translucent tire can be produced in any color to match the car, or
She's checking
perhaps
her
the
hose.
wife's new outfit. Someday a wife may tell a husband, "Charlie, can you go out and change the tires? I'm wearing my blue dress tonight." And that's what that's all about. Regardless of what you might think about the marketing strategy, Goodyear's illuminated tires offered custom car enthusiasts plenty of exciting possibilities. This was a creation of Goodyear chemist William Larson and co-worker Anthony Finelli. The tires were made of neothane, a synthetic polyurethane rubber that combined the hardness of plastic and the resilience of rubber. To create the new fang-dangled tires, the neothane was poured into molds baked at 250 degrees, a temperature much lower. It's much lower than required to make a standard tire. Goodyear then added dye to create a rainbow of different colors, and 18 small lights were mounted in the rims inside of each tire to create a glow that was particularly brilliant at night. Now, people still do that to this day, putting lights in their fender wells and things. The invention caused quite a stir when Goodyear put a set of red illuminated tires on a Dodge Polara and drove it around Miami. It did the same for a Chrysler Silver 300, just same thing, driving around the New York City area. Although the tires went into production, one set made it into the hands of a person by the name of Jim Sakanis, who poured $75,000, or about $750,000 in today's money, in creating the tripped out of Golden Sahara 2 in the early 60s. The second version of this was a George Barris custom that started with a 1953 Lincoln Capri called the Golden Sahara 2. It wore gold paint mixed with pulverized fish scales that was adorned with gold plate and ornamental work. Yeah, I like it. Those new Fandango Goodyear tires were referred to as glass. They were a cherry on a sundae. In 2018, this vehicle sold at auction unrestored for $385,000.
It's ugly.
Yeah, and the tires the tires were solid. They weren't filled with air. Filled with air a little bit, but they were mainly solid. Now, Goodyear held tight on the idea of its neothane tires would one day become as common as the black rubber counterparts, but didn't happen. After 10 years of work, engineers threw in the towel. Keith Buckley, senior engineer of Goodyear and Tire Rubber Company, said in a brief phone interview, with the promise of a longer conversation that would ever materialize, the new Fandango tires were doomed for several reasons. Low melting point for the tires in the manufacturing process made it susceptible to melting while they were actually on the road, so they would just deteriorate and disintegrate. And then the cost would be one thing. Made them more dangerous in rainy conditions, and it would take longer before they were even covered by road grime, which negated the illumination to begin with. So there you go.
Illuminated tires.
Yep.
Well, they've kind of got that today with, like you said, the lights in the fender wells. I'm not of that age group anymore, but I think back in the day, I had a big jacked up truck or something with a lot of room in there with the wheel wells and some fancy rims, I'd probably do that.
And you can make their Hankook has red letter tires, blue letter tires. You can get the lettering different, but that's a different process.
Well, I was going to say,
altogether.
you can get letters to anything that you want, and they stick them on there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, well, that's a different process so far as the manufacturing of the color in the tire.
I got it. Yeah.
And
remember we went through the red stripe era.
Yep.
Then we went to the raised white letters.
Yep. Exactly. And growing up back in the mid 70s, you're in high school and everybody's running around Telegraph Road and all that. Particular gentleman, young guy, had a white Camaro Z, split bumpers, and he put his car was white, so he put white light bulbs in his fenders as he raced it up and down the street. We used to call him Fender Wells. That was his nickname, Fender Well.
Really?
Because
is this in Detroit?
Yeah. because he
And he didn't get arrested?
No, because he only did it at certain times when he's running races. But anyways, make a